Well, it's Wednesday, and you all know what that means. As you all know, AEW has debuted in Cardiff, Wales, down in the UK, because they're preparing for All In Wembley Stadium. So a lot of things have happened. Now we do know we have the Continental Championship on the line, the TBS Championship contract signing, and various other things as well. So we will see what happened. This is before we head, of course, to All In. But first things first, we're going to do two more reviews coming from two different promotions. The first one is from ChocoPro. This is their latest show, number 389, featuring, of course, an exhibition match and three more matches. And then finally, this is the first time I actually reviewed this promotion, even though I have heard a lot of good things. This is Kitsune Women's Wrestling. This is a promotion based out of LA, but the promoter is originally from here in my hometown of San Diego. So I'm looking forward to review this one for the very, very first time. And then, of course, we cap it up with some news updates to keep you guys updates what's been happening in the world of pro wrestling, such as what events the promotions are throwing out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of pro wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of the Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to the Deleted Wrestle Zone. All things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, Jay, right here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel where we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK. Anywhere in the world, pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, got discussion videos talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information is not been able to be on this episode, I can put it on the next episode or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, got more news updates on alert to keep you guys updated if anything has happened in the world of pro wrestling and it needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got the Unagi Sayaka watch and various other cool things as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us. So click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, all introductions set aside, it's time to flame on. So, let's begin with our very first review, and this one is from ChocoPro. Okay, ChocoPro number 389. Now, as always, we had Bailey Naaki open up the show, but here's the thing I did not notice, guys. He hasn't been wrestling since number 386. I have not seen why until I look a little closely, and I went back to look at the other shows, 387 and 388. He looks more like he has a knee brace or something, but not like ones where you're limping with. He seems like to walk fine, but I'm sure that he's currently taking it easy, knowing that he doesn't want to make things a little worse for him. But I have to say, it's a smart move coming from him to ensure he doesn't damage himself even further. But needless to say, everything's good. But however, of course, he gave the info on what matches were taking place. Most of it he speaks in English and in Japanese as well. But our first, well, I don't know if it's the official match, but we have an exhibition match. Once again, we have the trainee Kaho taking on Emi Sakura. But I don't need to tell you exactly, of course, how the result goes. Once again, Emi Sakura, due to her experience, allowed her to win her match. However, during the post match, now there is another show coming up, with Got to Move. If you guys know, ChocoPro is the lead flagship in the Got to Move promotion. Gaho has been put in the match against, of course, someone I did not expect, but you guys know her too well. She was part of the first ever AEW show back in 2019. We're talking about Ryo Mizunami. Yep, the same Ryo Mizunami, and the same one who faced Hikaru Shida for the AEW Women's World Title back in 2021. But it's great to see that. Now, our first match, we have Hiroyi Yawada teaming up once again with Tokiko Kirihara. This time they face Nonoka Seto and Trans Am Hiroshi. Now, of course, Trans Am Hiroshi, he's a guy that you don't want to be around with because A, he'll try singing and you get confused. That's exactly what Hiroyi was going through. She ended up in that position. But, however, because of that, it allowed him to pick up the win by pinning her. 1, 2, 3. It was done. I don't know what she was thinking, but yes. Now, our next match is a 6-woman tag match. We have Masahiro Takanashi. He teams up this time with Chiko Shikawa and Sayaka Obihiro. They face against Miya Yatsuba, Masamune, and of course Saki. Now, this is the kicker that I saw, and I had a feeling when I saw this match, because I did mention I wouldn't be surprised if Chi or Obi would decide to challenge for the Asian Dream Tag Team titles. Well, Chi was smart enough to know if she picked up a win on Saki, then of course Saki and Mizuki have to put those belts on the line, and that is something very smart of her. But it did not work entirely. I'm sure Masa thought the same thing too, but she beat her to the punch to do so. So basically, Saki, in the other hand, has a big target on her back. Even though Mizuki is currently with Tokyo Pro, I'm sure that Saki can handle it herself. And that's exactly what she did, because she put Chi in the Kawaii Buster, and just like that, they retained the belt. But I wouldn't be surprised if somehow down the road, if Chi and Obi were unsuccessful to try to pin Saki down the line, then they may have to issue the challenge regardless. But we'll just have to wait and see. Now, our main event, well, this is a bit of a payback for what happened last time. Sayaka faces Mei Suruga. Now, Mei Suruga can say it's not her fault how things ended for Sayaka taking on Emi Sakura. But now things are a little kind of strange. Emi Sakura was the ref, which, of course, it's like, oh man. I mean, I don't know. Is Mei Suruga really that devious to use her own mentor to do her dirty work? I don't know. I mean, Emi Sakura used Mei Suruga, but once again, it didn't work exactly in Sayaka's favor. I mean, she may have won the match, but may actually won the match by submission, but I don't know. It's like you can see there's like certain habits between both Emi Sakura and Mei Suruga, but yeah. So it ended like that. With Mei Suruga submitting Sayaka, and just like that, it was over. Now for our Jonkin tournament, we have, of course, many people go on. But I can tell you that the winner in this one is Chiko Shikawa, because the runner-up is none other than Emi Sakura. Emi Sakura has always been good at this, but unfortunately, not today. But yes. So it was a pretty good show. Liked it. Of course, like I said, Saki has to be more careful now. If Mizuki's not around, then she does have a huge target on her back. But we will see how things will progress. But as of right now, we'll end things here with ChocoPro and move on with Kitsune Women's Wrestling. Okay, Kitsune Women's Wrestling. Now, if you guys aren't familiarized with this promotion made its launch last year in October of 2023. And of course, our first inaugural champion is Unagi Sayaka. Now, recently, you may or may not have heard some of the stuff that I put on her. She relinquished the belt due to the fact that she's been unsuccessful to get her visa to come back to defend the belt. Uh, Due to the fact that she felt that this was not the right thing to do for her to hold on to the belt. So she felt that this belt needs to be held by someone else. But of course, eventually we will probably see her again if she gets her visas straightened out. So we'll see what that happens. But we do only have that championship match take place. Now there was another show prior to this one in here in San Diego. The one they just did that I'm reviewing is the one in LA that happened. Yabai, I think that's what it's called. But yes, but we'll go from the start to finish on this one. Now, first match we have Maya World versus Aaliyah James. Um, Pretty okay opener, not gonna lie. You know, it's like nothing too strong. But though you may have known who Maya World is, you've seen her several times in the Independents. Aaliyah James, many of you remember her. She was in NXT UK for a while, but she's been making appearances in the independent scenes in the UK and in Europe. But this match ended with, of course, Maya picking up the win. 1, 2, 3, and just like that. Next up, we have a tag team match. We have Maney and Nina teaming up to take on Miko, Alana, and Savi Stone. Now, I don't know exactly what happened, but the match was okay. It was nothing too big or too small until Savi turned her back on Miko. However, Mina was the one who picked up the win on a Nina picked up the win on a DDT, and just like that. But Nina was not happy with the result of the win, feeling like, what the hell, like, why did you turn your back on your partner? And then, of course, this led into post-match, a possible match between those two. So if there's going to be another Kitsune show taking place maybe in a couple of months, then this will be the perfect opportunity for that. But we'll see what happens. Now, our next match, we have two masked ladies. We have Kitsune and Lady Pink. Basically, luckily for you, this is not a mask versus mask where the loser takes off the mask. No. Basically, it was a solid match. But it was okay from there. But it was Kitsune with an armbar that allowed her to pick up the win, which was very effective. So, just like that, it was over. Our next match, we have Zaya Zhao, or as you guys know her, Zaya Lee. Well, she changed her name now since she's in Independent. So she goes by Zaya Zhao, taking on, this is her debut. Well, she made her debut yesterday, I think. But, no, not yesterday, the day before. Nagisa Nozaki. So yes, this match went all balls to the wall. No holdbacks. I mean, you can see that there were moments that either Zaya or Nagisa would have picked up the win. But no, but the match ended in a double countout after 11 minutes and 5 seconds. So basically, I don't know if there's going to be a solid winner in the future, because I'm sure I wouldn't be surprised if they would demand another opportunity, but this time with how do I say, a no time limit or something, I don't know, or anything goes match, however they want to put it, but we'll see. Our next match, we have Angie Savage taking on Great Sakuya. So basically, yes, the daughter of Great Muta appeared. But I can tell you the funny part that happened. Sakuya green missed the ref, so she wouldn't see what she was about to do. She green missed Angie, and just like that, she put her away. And then to finish her off, she applied the moonsault. So that's pretty much what happened. Now, our next match, this is our only championship match involved. We have J-Rod, no relations, in case anybody asks, versus Yuna Manaze versus Megan Bain. Now, those who know this, Yuna Manaze, she is, in fact, the mentor of Unagi Sayaka. And much is also the same with Natsupoi. She trained many girls, like Natsupoi, Tam Nakano, Sayuro Noi, Maika Ozaki, various others. But being her there, being involved, because I know, because back in in Japan, I'm sure Yuna would have loved to have another opportunity in a one-on-one match against Unagi, but apparently because of this situation. However, she did state if she does win this match, she'll probably face Unagi, which is. But J Rod, on the other hand, from what she was saying, she acting like she is the champion, but despite the fact is, she hasn't earned it yet. She hasn't won it. So this is the opportunity for someone to be crowned as the next champion. Now, people are not taking away what a great champion Unagi is, being the first. But, however, you got to look at things. You got Yuna Manaze, who has many years of experience. You got Mega Bane. We all know how strong and powerful she is. J Rod, well, she was nice and sweet from the beginning, now becoming cocky. But, however, it was a lariat by Manaze to J Rod, allowing herself to be the next champion. So, congratulations. So, we have our brand new champion from there. Now, our next match, we have Delmi Exo and Shaza McKenzie. They face against Aspen Rose and Ak Yasukawa. It's great to see Ak Yasukawa. Now, those who aren't familiarized with her, Ak Yasukawa was involved in a shoot accident in Stardom many years ago. Swollen her face. She stopped wrestling for a while due to the concerns of what happened many years ago. But however, she has wrestled here and there. She did make appearances in WrestleCon. She's even tight with the promoter, from my understanding. But those who know this or not, she is one of the original leaders of Oedo Tai, along with Thunder Rosa, Negra Rosa, and of course Ruby Soho. I did mention they should do a somewhat of a reunion between all four of them. That'll be fun. But the match was pretty good. But however, the one thing that was interesting is how Delmi and Shaza was trying to separate Aspen from Ak, knowing that they don't want nothing to do with her. Well, too bad it didn't go exactly their plan, because Ak put Shaza in a submission, and just like that, it was done. But not bad. I mean, I'm sure we will love to see more of Ak. I mean, I would like to see more of her making her appearance. Next up, we have Sage Sin Supreme taking on Miyako Matsumoto. Now, originally, Miyako was supposed to face against Su Yung, but due to some complications, it was unable to do so. But I have to say, Miyako did a pretty good job. Not complaining. But she did finish off Sage when she applied, of course, a double foot stomp, and just like that, it was over. Now, our main event, we have Jordan Blade and Janai Kai taking on our first ever, I forgot what the title that she has, Jada Stone, Kitsune Women's North American Champion, I think. And she teams up with the legend, Aja Kong. Now, of course, Aja Kong is a very difficult person to beat. Not because she's a veteran, because she's a big individual, she's dangerous, she uses certain weapons that you don't want to be around with. Not to mention, one of her dangerous weapons is the back fist, which is obvious. And of course, that's how they were able to pick up the win by Aja Kong, with the back fist. She did that on Jordan Blade, and just like that, it was over. But it was a pretty good show. I liked it. So I think that's pretty much it with Kitsune. Hopefully I can get to see another opportunity, but we'll see what happens. But for right now, let's move on to our last and final review, and that is, of course, AEW Dynamite. Okay, AEW Dynamite making their debut in Cardiff, Wales. Um, I'm sure many of you might have not expected this was going to be like that, but it did. But of course, the only reason they're in Cardiff that they wanted to do this because we are now heading to Wembley Stadium, which is going to be awesome. Now, first thing we started out is the TBS title contract between Britt Baker and Mercedes Moné. They signed their deed on the dotted line, but of course, and like any other contract signing, we see, of course, words exchange and all this. But of course, Britt Baker whacked Camille with the microphone in her head, which was just too funny. But of course, you got to ask yourselves, Does Britt Baker have a chance to make history? Could she be the first ever woman to hold not only the AEW Women's World Title, but also the TBS? If she can do it, then she makes history. Something I don't know if Mercedes Moné is willing to try to stop her, but we'll see. Now we do see a bit of an interview with Chris Jericho along with his Grease Monkeys, Brian Keith, and of course Big Bill. He first talked about, of course, Tommy Billington, saying that does he have a right to use the Dynamite Kid? Is he the same as his uncle? So basically, that's a very good question. We know that he is trained well. We know that he wants to continue the family legacy, which is obvious. But however, Jericho hasn't forgotten that he has one person on his mind, and that is none other than Hook. But we will pay attention to that as we go. Now we jump into that match, Jericho versus Tommy Billington. I thought Tommy did a fantastic job. He really did pull up his weight. But of course, Keith and Bill gets involved as always. But however, because certain distractions come in with those Grease Monkeys, Jericho was able to apply the code breaker, allowing himself to win. And then he does a promo talk about Hook. Hook showed up and of course tried to take matters in his own hands, but however, the numbers gained was just too much, 3-on-1, but we'll see what happens in Wembley. Now, our next match is the AEW Women's World Title, Toni Storm versus Saraya. Now, we know there's no doubt about their histories between Saraya and Toni Storm. Toni used to be a member of Outcast after last year, but this time is different. Now, Saraya would do whatever it takes to get her Wembley time, and Toni Storm decided to give that to her by saying, how about if I challenge you for this belt? So basically that was like her one-way ticket. Now, of course, we were going to see Cameron get involved. As always, she'll do anything for Saraya, but we did see the moment where Toni Storm kissed her, then the misfire by Saraya to Harley, and then of course the derail again with the kiss, and then the Storm Zero, and just like that, it was over. But of course, since we're now getting closer to Wembley Stadium, Mariah May decided to attack, and just like that, it was over. Now, we do see a very interesting interview with Renee, with the Conglomerate, talking about things that are happening. Of course, Tomo Hiroishi and Willow will be in a mixed tag match. All the Kyle, Mark, and of course OC will be involved in a gauntlet Casino Battle Royale gauntlet match, which is going to be fun. So I can't wait to see that. Now, Will Ospreay was going to have a little face-to-face with MJF and all that, talk about this. But I think the key story is this. Will Ospreay has been no doubt been one of the best wrestlers in the world. But MJF thinks, in his own opinion, that's a crock of shit. That's what he thinks of him. He thinks that you haven't done anything to become that person. I mean, but Will Ospreay can say, go to Japan, people will tell you who's the best wrestler in the world. Go to the UK, go to Europe, go to Australia or New Zealand. They will tell you the same thing. But of course, MJF doesn't see that. And then of course, MJF decides to cross the line by talking about Will's wife and son, and that went out of hand. But unfortunately, the diamond ring was the one thing that was the difference maker, busted open Will Ospreay. Now, of course, there were concerns over the fact that will he be okay? Well, we were about to get an update with Renee towards the end of the entire show, but all of his son, Bryan Danielson, decided to confront him and told him to look at him. He told him, do it. He's referring to, use the Tiger Driver. Do it. So basically, I think Bryan Danielson's telling him, stop being a dick and just use the move. Beat that guy. Even if Will Ospreay doesn't see the fact, he has to do it. But we'll see. Now, we do get another interview with Renee, this time with Hangman. As you know, Hangman has been unhinged since he's returned. His one sole purpose is to destroy Swerve and get the AEW World Title. However, he wanted to know if anybody was involved in the gauntlet match. Well, Evil Uno did. Then all of nowhere, Hangman just whacked him. which was very, very disturbing. But like I said, this led into an unhinged Hangman who is determined to get what he wants. He wants to go to get that title, but we'll see what happens. Now, our next match is the AEW Continental title. Claudio Castagnoli versus Kazuchika Okada. Now, those who remember, there was a Continental Classic that, of course, Claudio was involved but unable to proceed. And then, of course, the match was pretty well received. But unfortunately, this match ended in a 20-minute, in a 20-minute time limit draw. However, the Elite showed up and told them that this match was supposed to be only 20 minutes, not 25. So they decided to tell the fans, we're not doing it because we're playing by the rules. BS, they're only saying that because they don't want to lose this belt out of the Elite. So we'll see what happens. But however, the Elite has to confront Darby Allin FTR. Now, of course, Darby Allin will be facing Jack Perry for the title, for the TNT title in a coffin match. And then, of course, the Elite will be defending the AEW World Tag Team titles in a three-way. However, you would see a lot of variables happen, cutting corners between the Elite, that sort of thing. But unfortunately, this match was overturned when, of course, we saw Darby Allin applied a coffin drop onto Matt Jackson, and just like that, it was over. And then post-match, the Acclaimed showed up to do a little promo and all that. So we'll see what happens at Wembley. Now, our main event, well, Nigel McGuinness decided to do introductions on Swerve. The only reason this sleazeball is doing the introduction is he wants to see Swerve Strickland destroy Bryan Danielson. Well, if it was me, I would rather destroy Nigel McGuinness for his trouble. But of course, Swerve once again decides to cross the line by saying things about Bryan Danielson's family. Then he showed up, but he reminded him that he's the best wrestler in the world. But Swerve doesn't believe that. He thinks that he's not that guy anymore. Well, the fans have spoken, but we'll see what happens. But I'm sure we're going to see one heck of a match. But we'll see if Bryan Danielson can survive this one. But we'll see. But until then, let's end it here right now with AEW and move on with our last and final thing, news updates. Okay, welcome to our news updates. So let's begin with, of course, upcoming events from the promotions. Now, as you know, by the end of this month, RevPro will have the 12th anniversary. A particular match has been announced, and this one is a 8-man tag match. We have the Young Blood teaming up with Josh James and Shaw Samuels. They take on Greedy Souls, Santos, and David Santos, I think that's the name. But yes, so that's pretty much for RevPro. Now, for the September 5th in Chicago, for House of Glory in Chicago, the Crown Jewel will be defended. Zilla Fatu defends the belt against Mustafa Ali. I'm sure Mustafa Ali is going to try his best to steal that belt to prove that that belt needs more prestige. But we'll see. Now, also on that very same day, now I know some of you may think this is a load of horse crap, but Black Label Pro has announced for their upcoming event, the Crowning Glory, on that very same day, September 5th, Mandy Sachs will be there. Now, those who don't know who Mandy Sachs is, you may have known her as, of course, Mandy Rose from WWE. So they announced that. Now, I saw the poster on their X account, so you should see it for yourselves that it's there. Now, Deadlock Pro Wrestling will be having on that very same day the Carolina Classics. There's a qualifier match that's been announced for that. It's going to feature LeBron Cozone and, of course, Timothy Thatcher. And then finally, as you know, Scott D'Amore revived an old promotion called Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling, or MLP. Now, they will have a 2-day show on back-to-back on October 19th through the 20th. And the name of this title show is called Forge in Excellence. And two names have been announced that will participate completely. It's of course Canada's very own El Fantasmo, and of course Konosuke Takeshita. So yep, there'll be more names I'm sure they'll be announced, but I can't wait to see it. Now, Fightful Select reports that Mike Bailey, as you know, he is the current X Division champion. He will not be cashing in Option C. Now, those who are not familiarized with that, with Option C and TNA, let me explain this. If you're the X Division champion, you have the right to challenge for the TNA World title. Now, the person who started this was Austin Aries. Austin Aries developed the Option C, and he did that many times. Uh, the first time that I ever seen that is, of course, a few times I've seen that Chris Sabian, who was X Division champion, cashed it in. And then, of course, Josh Alexander did the same thing. If you don't remember, after, of course, Josh Alexander defeated Chris Sabian, Sabian whispered in Josh Alexander's ear and told him, "You can cash in the belt for the world title," which, of course, gave him that chance that allowed him to become the champion. So Bailey has no intentions of doing that, but he does have intentions to grab the TNA World title, like be a multi-champion. But we'll see. Rich Swann is in trouble again. Those who remember, this is not the first time he's been caught doing something stupid. Apparently, he's been suspended by TNA, and due to he entered rehab for disorderly intoxication arrest. So we know that he's been in trouble before, but don't know if this will affect his career or not. We know that he done this before when he was in WWE, but he's been pretty much on the straight and narrow for a while. But now this, so we'll see how that goes. Now, many of you have been hearing a lot of things, been talking about Tam Nakano, as you know. Certain things she talked about recently. I think she might have done this with Tokyo Sports. One of the things that she talked about is the criticism that she's been hearing about her because of her getting a shot of the red belt. And this is what she said. "I've heard the criticism, but the 5-Star Grand Prix is not a league competition to determine the right to challenge for the red belt. Natsuko nominated me, and I felt ashamed. I'm sure she chose me because of my results so far and my feelings for Natsuko. That's something I'm proud of, so why are outsiders who haven't achieved any results so far complaining? I'm astounded." I mean, yeah, you look at it this way. She hasn't had any good results in the 5-star. And of course, Natsuko Tora did have rights to issue the challenge. I mean, it is her choice, not nobody. I mean, people can say to Tam, you did not win this whole thing. You weren't even in the conversation. But it's Natsuko Tora's. Natsuko Tora's the person now who doesn't give a shit about the rules, doesn't care what people say. She wants what she wants, and her determination is to destroy Tam. And I think Tam knows it too well. But also, she also has been aware that people have been telling her that she needs to withdraw from the tournament and rest and heal from everything. But this is what she said about that. "Some people are saying you have the title match coming up, so you don't take rest. Your career as a wrestler may be over. But if I run away from the league matches, it will be a repeat of last year. Even if I break my knee, I want to finish the league matches and reach the red belt. I'm prepared to lose everything." So Tam knows too well, because the thing is this, she's right. She didn't even finish the 5-Star Grand Prix last year. So that led to that. So basically she wants to finish what's possible, and she's prepared to lose everything. But she also put this out afterwards, saying, I had a promise to Zuzu, Micah, and Kamitani that we would fight for the right for the belt. I also promised that the fans I would make Stardom the #1 promotion in the world. That won't happen if Natsuko does things her way. I'll prove that justice and triumph over evil. So she's willing to go the distance to claim it. Now, there are those people who have recently been saying Tam doesn't have a chance, she'll probably lose. Because they're giving a different narrative that if she loses, then she will probably go for the IWGP Women's title. I don't know, but we will do a discussion video before we get to August 31st. But for now, we'll just end things right here and call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, we will have TNA and Ring of Honor. I may have to only go with those promotions at the most because I got some errands I need to do before that. So I may keep it into a minimum for the next episode. So I'm just telling you guys ahead of time before anything has proceeded. But for now, we'll leave things as it is and move forward. If there's any chances I do get an opportunity to see maybe another wrestling show before TNA and Ring of Honor, we'll just have to wait and see. But for now, we'll just leave things as it is. But until then, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye, and have a nice day.